Right, let's bring in our first guest. He's here. Let's bring him in. Here he is, Trevor John. How are you, Trevor?
Morning. Yeah, I'm going to try and appear very chirpy. I don't know how you do it this time in the morning.
Oh, I'm a morning person. So I used to be up all through the night, right? And then when I had my daughter some 28 years ago, everything changed because I was forced to. Because I had to work on her clock. So I am actually very, very awake and very alive in the morning, which is why I chose to do a morning show, oddly enough, right? So how are you? It's wonderful to have you with us. We've already had a blast of your song, but I think we should have another blast. So let's do it. I think I've got a little clip of your video. Here we go. Let's do this.
Just following orders, I'm doing what I'm told. Got to keep my nose clean, don't want to catch a cold. And if the people suffer, well, that's not down to me. 'Cause I'm just following orders for the tyranny.
I genuinely love this song. I genuinely love it. I think it's fantastic. As I told you this morning, you have NLP'd our entire household, which is absolutely fine because, as you said, well, we might as well use it for our own good, right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
You are, of course, a singer-songwriter. That was produced by the very lovely Martin Noakes. Martin Noakes and loads of Freedom songs. And you also have Mad Mix Michael Chaves on background vocals as well, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. He's appeared in a few of my songs and videos. Yeah,
wonderful.
He's a good man, Mad Mix.
Well, he is indeed. So you've got a very interesting history. I had no idea, Trevor. We did meet before. You pointed out to me that you'd asked me a question at the Jam for Freedom event a couple of years back. Absolutely. And it was a good question, which we will look at actually again in this conversation. But let's just talk a little bit about your history. So you were involved in a publishing company. You were a copywriter. What did you do with the Dairy Lee cow, Trevor?
Yeah, I was working as an illustrator. So, I drew the Dairy Lee cow way back. And Aardman animated it, though. I had to go down to Aardman Studios to make sure they were getting the character right. But that was like going to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory for me.
Yeah. It's brilliant. The thing is that it's so interesting when you start to realize people's history and what brought them to this point. And you sent me something this morning. You'd written about how we're living in interesting times and how you really started to kind of like you were waking up on a constant basis. You realized there was a problem with 9/11. You realized there was a problem with 7/7. But I think just following orders is very much about the C-19 period, isn't it? What can you tell us?
Well, I think that in a way that worked in our favor because we suddenly realized that it's like it wasn't that something had changed. It's that we realized what the world was like. So it pulled back the curtain and we saw exactly what was going on. I mean, it was so blundering, really, what they did that it became very obvious that we were being lied to about all sorts of things. And then and it kind of gives us the opportunity to look at everything afresh, because you think if they've lied about that, they've lied about that, what else have they lied about? And they basically lied about everything. The amazing thing about that period was that you realize how hypnotized people were, and a lot of people that I thought were very bright and switched on, quite a lot in my family, were absolutely hypnotized, and it was no good kind of giving them facts. You couldn't wake people up by giving them facts. And I've come to the conclusion that maybe we're not even meant to wake people up. Everyone's on their own journey. And if everybody woke up at the same time, we'd be in some terrible traumatic chaos. So it's just
It is. I think it told us a lot about the power of fear, didn't it? Because they used obviously money in order to be able to scare the living daylights out of us. And the division that was created amongst families, amongst loved ones, was really horrendous. I interviewed people who were quite literally only able to communicate with their loved ones on iPads, and several actually watched their loved ones die on iPads. I mean, it was the most extreme period of time. And we have this so-called COVID-19 inquiry. And how do you see official inquiries like this?
Oh, it's all a pantomime. I don't really take any notice of it. I just try to use the energy that they give us. You know, we need friction in life because otherwise a car won't go around a corner. You know, you can use all these things to your advantage. So the anger, I mean, that's what we were talking about before, how you alchemize things like anger, which is a very dark kind of low vibration, but you can actually use that to motivate and you can use that energy in a good way. And so I just try to make people laugh, and I think laughter is a good way of skewering
Wonderful.
these people.
It's a
So
wonderful thing. And
yeah,
so what you're referring back to is the question that you'd asked me at Jam for Freedom, and it was a good
yeah,
one. And that I just to reiterate it, you were talking about how do we take anger, which can kind of render us like incapable of moving just like this, but how do we take it and how do we transform it into something that will enable us to progress? So presumably you, because you're a creative person, clearly you're a creative person, so you use creativity. I mean, there's nothing quite like creativity to neutralize so much bad, isn't right?
yeah. I mean, I think it's that's what we're here to do, is to create. Yeah, Jam for Freedom, but like for all its faults, and there were plenty of faults that could be leveled at it, there were some fantastic talks. So you were hosting a talk with Bob Moran and Daz, and I can't remember the other guy, someone you worked with, young guy.
Oh gosh, who else was on
sorry,
there?
I've put you on the spot.
No. There was a film producer. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. But yeah, it seems so long ago now. But it was a great event. Yeah.
The talks were fantastic, and so I asked Bob Moran and Daz about sort of alchemizing anger into something positive, and that's basically what I try and do. I mean, just following orders. I actually I wrote that in the bath the day of one of the marches, and I put it because I was coming up with silly things to sing through a megaphone on the marches, and so I kind of wrote that in my head and then sang it into a phone, and then I sent it straight off to Fifi from Stand in the Park, and she sent it around. So before I got in the bath, that was already got out of the bath. That was already going around, and then when I was on the march with a megaphone, people knew it. They were singing it along with me. So I mean, that was quite an exciting time for me. I mean, I've got when everyone seemed kind of homogenous and together, and you know, things have things are a bit different now. I think we've actually we had a honeymoon period, and we've got to kind of realize that we've got to do the work ourselves now, I think, which is alchemizing all those energies into a good place. That's what I'm trying to do.
It's funny. I came across an old Michael Jackson song yesterday about how they don't care about us, and I thought the lyrics are so true today. I mean, long beyond his death, they're so true, and they don't care about us. And as one of our commenters said earlier, no one's coming to save us. We essentially have to save ourselves, and stop. And I don't know about you, but I also had a problem through the C19 period, because I know that a lot of people you're right, they woke up through that period. I was awake before that, so I was almost ready for a C19 to happen. And even before lockdown, I was saying, please people calm down, because this is how they'll get us to do a multitude of things. And so I think it can be quite difficult, can't it, when you're just waking up, because you described it as a crash course. How did that impact you, that awakening?
Well, it was a crash course, and for people that had no idea and were some of those that woke up at that point, it must have been really traumatic. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be surrounded by some great people. Like I work with The Void. I don't know if you've come across that platform. There's a couple of musicians that I was working with before all the nonsense, as I call it, and we were doing all sorts of awake type stuff about false flags and about Greta Thunberg and all sorts of things, and so they kind of woken me up to all sorts of things like Egypt and 9/11, 7/7. I was kind of prepared, but then it did really feel like a rug had just been pulled from under our feet. So, but in a way, that was a positive thing for me, because it's not like they just started doing that. It was just revealed to us where we were. So it's a revelation. I've got a line in one of my other songs for Truth, Freedom, Justice, Love, that, there's been a revelation. Scales have fallen from our eyes. Time to breathe in the beautiful. Let it wash away the lies.
Love that. Absolutely love that. And I think, it's that cliche, isn't it, about the importance of love and how it can essentially solve a multitude of issues. And DJ Markson says, I'm with you, Trevor. Spread the love. Let me read you some of these comments. Randy says, anger can be an anchor on your journey. Kat says, good on you, Trevor. No sense in making yourself poorly, absorbing the negativity. Observe, don't absorb, like that. And John Hendon, our frequent psychotherapist, says, good morning from Taunton. Good morning to you, John. And Lisa says, humor, and seeing that this is so ridiculous that if you can't see it, I don't have time to explain it. Mel says we need more women in the freedom movement to be center stage. It was more women than men that stood up against tyranny. Was it, Mel's? Was it? I mean, I don't know whether it was or wasn't. I just want as many people as possible to wake up. And I do truly believe that that is happening, because I've seen a sea change, Trevor. As you say, in some respects, C19, if you look for a silver lining, well, the silver lining was it woke more people up. That truly happened. My next door neighbors, who were very, very middle class, very focused on their work, very much on the hamster wheel, they woke up during C19, and it was a shock to me. So before you leave us today, we are going to have another blast of your song, but anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I think we're in a time where suddenly honesty and sincerity has become cool now. People living to their word, and freedom comes with responsibility. So it's kind of up to us to do work on ourselves and to look at our shadow sides, because we're part of the problem as well. We've all got dark energy. So it's freedom comes with responsibility. That's what I think.
Sounds great. Let's have another blast.
Just following orders, I'm doing what I'm told. Got to keep my nose clean, don't want to catch a cold. And if the people suffer, well, that's not down to me, 'cause I'm just following orders for the tyranny.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely love that. I do genuinely love that. And I'm one of those people where I can't fake it, right? I can't fake it. If I like something, I like something. If I don't like it, you'll know it. So that is absolutely brilliant. And I think we need more stuff like that, really catchy. And of course, your background really helps, because you understand that. You understand how to make something popular. Trevor is a wonderful soul, says Trip. Gary says, yes, Trevor. This is exactly it, Trevor. Done so much shadow work. Time for getting the ego in check, says Lisa. Sounds all good. Trevor, thank you for joining us this morning. Big up to Martin and the crew. Wonderful to have you with us. Everybody, Trevor John, there is a link in the description already. Please support this tune. We need to support our own. We absolutely do. MK says, cool, Trevor. Music unites. It does indeed.
Yeah.
Take good care of yourself, Trevor. Lots of love.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful to have you with us. Wonderful, 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 wonderful.